we will share that recording later on. But you've probably noticed now I've changed scenes. I'm now sitting down and we're all ready to kick off with Loose Business. I've got myself my product placement branded mug in hand, a casual chat with three people who are small business owners and also good friends of mine. So I'm going to look along the line and say welcome to Ian, to Sharon and to Nishi. And of course, today is all about rebooting your business, re-energizing, growing yourself, and also getting, as Josh says, your mindset right so that we can look ahead with some hope and optimism. So without further ado, we're going to work at fast pace. We're hopeful that you will take at least one and probably many more golden nuggets from my guests today. So I'm going to start with Ian. Ian, we know that it's been a challenging year. There have been times probably when we've all felt like screaming, giving up. And I know for one that you're a runner, that you've probably run more miles and cycled more miles to clear your head than most of us.
Absolutely. This year has all been for running, rather than any events, because obviously they've all sort of stopped. It's just been about getting out there. At the end of the day, a whole day of Zoom sometimes. You start the day at 8:30 on the Zoom, you finish at 6 o'clock. You need to get out there, get your head full of fresh air and just clear the mind. And can't be running and cycling for that, in my personal opinion.
Those endorphins kick in. But let's start then with that challenge that we've got as we emerge from the first year of the pandemic and all the challenges. And I know that you face challenges in your business. Just tell us about those and what you're doing to address them.
Yes, I mean, we started off actually back in February last year was when we sort of had the hit already, because we do quite a lot of social media marketing in our business around events. And of course, the events were already starting to stop. I was supposed to be going to Paris to do an event at the end of March, and mid-Feb, I got the phone call, sorry, and it's not going to be going ahead. And I was like, oh, I'm quite looking forward to going to Paris, but also quite looking forward to the budget that was going to bring in for the month of March and April, stop. So we had to really quickly look at other ways of running our business. But in the short term, that did mean, we had to use the furlough system and so on for the people who were involved in that. But then, we've got involved in perhaps doing some training and other types of development, and then also helping businesses who are looking to do things differently online, so developing new websites and so on for them. And that's been quite exciting, helping businesses change a bit of what they do. Like one of our clients who delivered fruit, they were traditionally delivered to offices. Obviously, they nobody there. So we changed it and really focused on people getting fruit delivered to homes. And that really flew in the early days of lockdown, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Yeah, I think once that initial shock passed, people did think, well, what are our clients and our customers actually asking for? And you'll see me speaking to Sue from Hydroveg Kits shortly in a little video we put together. And of course, she started to listen to the questions that her clients are asking around, is this available in this color? Do you supply the plant? She's got an eco-friendly system for growing plants. So she's listening and thinking, well, maybe that's the next business idea. And you were doing the same. You were listening. What do people want? They can't come to you, so you've got to take the business to them. Now, Sharon, you took the brave step of starting a business last summer during the pandemic.
I did, yes. In August, I launched my eco clothing line, and I thought it was actually a good time to start a business because I thought we'd be coming to the end of the pandemic, but actually that all went completely wrong. So starting the business, obviously a wrong time, but it's been okay. So I've had a few people contact me about collaborations because they like the fact that I do eco sustainable clothing. So, and it's all organic and fair trade. So it's been nice to talk to people and do collaborations. I've done one with Sandra Garlick actually as well for I Am a Woman Who. But it was a brave step. I think many people said, are you sure you want to start a business at this time? And I says, well, it's online. Surely it'll be fine. People are shopping online. But yes, it was a little bit risky, I suppose, but it is paying off.
I think we've all been naive when we first start our businesses. I remember I used to run a publishing company and just went out on the streets and popped into shops and said, I'm running this magazine. Would you like to advertise in it? And I hadn't even got a copy of the magazine. It was a copy of someone else's magazine. I said, it'll look a bit like this. So that naivety sometimes means you don't worry quite so much. You just get in there and do it. Yes. And you did. But you mentioned collaborations. That's so important.
Yes.
I'm feeling that people are starting to work together a little bit more, perhaps more so than they did before the pandemic?
Yeah, absolutely. I've spoken to so many people that do sort of fashion items where they're a stylist, etc. as well, and they're looking at coloured coordinations and things, and looking at what colours I use and sell, and how that slogan T-shirt. I mean, okay, I'm wearing a slogan T-shirt today for a business event, but it can be styled up in a smart way. It could be dressed down. I mean, today I'm wearing Live the Life You Love, because I do feel, even though we're working, we're trying to earn a living, but we still need to live the life we love as well, because some of us have children. We've got to look after our mental health, so there's self-care in there as well. So I'm doing what I love, I'm living the life I love, and I'm going to keep going.
Absolutely. And I've already mentioned earlier on these collaborations. It's about finding people in your industry that you don't compete with, that you can talk to, who can help you grow each other's businesses. Like I've already mentioned, I'm working with this studio. It's in my industry. We don't compete with each other, but we are recommending each other, which we perhaps weren't doing quite as much before the pandemic. So I'm going to come to you now, Nishi. Of course, your business is all about people getting back into work, whether that's in self-employment, but in employment. So, wow, your moment is now, isn't it? As people, do want to get into work.
Absolutely, yes. So it's been extremely busy helping people to get back to work. But I think the first lockdown did actually throw quite a lot of people in terms of homeschooling. That's a huge impact, and kind of making and creating space to look for work. And we know that disproportionately that fell on women, so lots of moms having to take that role. So, but equally, kind of as things have started to progress, and we had a little bit of a break over summer, didn't we, where things started to normalise, helping people to get on Zoom and still use the services, which were still quite alien, I think, at the time during that summer period. So lots of hand holding and pivoting, even though that's a buzzword, isn't it, of 2020 and 2021. But there was lots of pivoting going on to support people the best we could.
Absolutely, yeah. We mentioned those buzzwords. We've all had to do it, remaneuver, whatever words we come up with. And you must have seen some really innovative ways in which people have perhaps, got those challenges of finding work or starting businesses and what they're doing. What are you seeing out there that people are taking on? What challenges are they facing and how are they overcoming them?
So, I mean, there's been lots and lots of, and I think Sharon's example is a lovely one. Actually, people saying that you're mad, but equally, we know from the last crisis in 2008, it's a great time to start a business with some education and knowing where your market is and so forth. So online business have done extremely well. So challenges, I think, are still coming up because we're still in that kind of uncertain. We're not sure what that roadmap looks like. I think right now it's collaboration, but also keeping a sane mind and keeping connected with other people so that you can keep a positive mindset, but equally keeping disconnected and not feeling overwhelmed as well. Because as Ian said, kind of that online Zoom sessions all day can be extremely tiring and overwhelming as well. Yeah,
very tiring. And Ian, coming back to you, of course, I think there were probably moments, certainly for me, where you sit back, that's all we could do, and think, right, okay, what next? And that's actually not something we do very often in our businesses, is reflect on where are we, how did we get to this point, and then move forward. And actually, in a crisis like this, stay relevant and stay visible.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've discovered, I've perhaps got more skills in than I knew previously. So I've got involved in training and development for other business leaders and helping them. And I've been doing a course alongside Coventry University around that. And one of the key things there we've been looking at is, what do you need to imagine in terms of what your business is going to look like in 2 years, 3 years from now? And what's the roadmap to that? And all that sort of thinking about your business. And often we're so busy, especially the last 12 months, many of us have been really busy just in survival mode. It's really important now as we start to think, what's business going to look like in a year, 2 years' time? How does our roadmap, to use the other buzzword of the current year, look like over the next few months? What do I need to put in place? What things do I need to do to get to where it looks? And what does that look like for you is really important. I think so often we can be so focused on our business, we forget to think what that looks like for us alongside that business. So I think perhaps a lot of people have perhaps reevaluated what's important, not just my business, it's all about my business, but what's important for you as well. And so putting that whole roadmap together, it's been really exciting to work with some businesses around that as well.
I think having a plan has always been important. It's something that sometimes we just do our businesses because we like doing the business, you know, and you get involved on that level. So, yeah, to take it forward, you've got a plan. No one could have planned for a pandemic. So maybe having a plan B is a good idea.
Yeah, so my plan B is I'm launching a book. That's my plan B, and I've had a lot of challenges over the years, and health as well, and I lost my son almost 9 years ago. So my book is actually about survival and how to come out of the other side of being in a dark space, and part of that was I lost my career as a project manager. So I never, ever would have thought I'd be starting my own business or becoming an author. But that roadmap changed for me. And it was about coming up, like you said, for plan B. And my plan B, I run a charity, the Luca Foundation, which is in memory of my son, but I don't take a salary from it. So my way of earning money and gaining my independence back, as opposed to asking my husband for £20 to get to the hairdressers, and you know, have my own independence, but have my own money. So that my plan B was like clothing. I'm passionate about clothing. I'm passionate about positive slogans. And then I thought, well, if I could get through all of these steps, I need to be able to tell my story and help others get through those dark times as well.
Brilliant. Sharing your message, which is what we're doing today. Being a published author is brilliant bling. That's the way I look at it, is to say you're a published author. It's better to give out a book at a networking event when we're all allowed back in the room together than a business card. People take that home and make you memorable. I'm going to come across the line now. Some top tips. Nishi, you're a very experienced person. What would you be advising people now in these next few weeks and months ahead?
I think it's to keep that end in mind, and it feels very sticky at the minute, doesn't it? We're not sure how things are going to pan out, but we are on that road to recovery. And I think it's about having that future focus, keeping to kind of what does your future look like, and really keeping true to why you set your business up, if it's a business, and minimizing those challenges.
Future focus and an exit strategy. How many people set up their businesses with the end in mind? I sold a business. I came across it really suddenly. Someone said, I'd like to buy your business. Oh, my word. Future focus, roadmap you've already mentioned, mindset, looking after yourself.
Yeah, really focusing on what your customers want, and that's going to change. You know, the last 12 months has changed what people want, and what they want out of life, what they want in business, what they're looking for in their business may have changed. People are changing their business models. That means perhaps it's time for you to go back out and re-ask your customers, people you've had conversations in the past, what could I do to help? What is it you really need? It's going to solve the problems that you might have in your business, in your life, and how can I make that happen for my business? So it's a really good opportunity to go out there, find out what your audience needs, and then deliver what they need. And so just go out there and ask the question, how can I help?
Yeah, great. And then listen to the answer, and then if they ask you a question, then just say, before you answer the question, say, why did you ask that? And they'll often give you another answer. You know, why did you ask me that question? Well, because. And they give
you know, like the child when they're 1 or 2 years old. Why? Yeah. You need to do that often in your business. When you've got problems and challenges in your business, you need to keep asking why. When you're talking to customers, keep asking, why do they buy it? What is it about this that was good? Why was it not so good? You know, do we ask customers when they leave us, why did you go somewhere else? Yeah. What was it about it? Yeah. Really keep asking the why question.
Yeah. And Sharon, as a new business owner, you must be still full of enthusiasm. Top tip for people watching today?
I think like Ian's just said, really, you know, your why, your reason why you've started it, why you want to keep going, what the future looks like in your business. And naturally, businesses always take a change in their path for whatever reasons, the pandemic, for example. So I think just always think of that reason why you've done it, and go for that, with your end sight as in what your end goal was.
Brilliant. Yeah. I mean, how often do we forget why we started out doing what we do? But if you're doing something that you love every day, then it really isn't a job, is it? And sometimes to be in the zone, you have to be doing the thing that you find easy, but that everybody else says, God, I really don't know how you do that. Then you really know you're onto something. for now, I'd like to thank Ian, Sharon and Nishi for joining me in this loose business chat. And no doubt you'll want to carry on chatting in the chat box. We've just whet your appetite with one or two of the things that these guys are doing in their businesses.